Coming up on Almost Adults.
Before the new year, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna start making videos. I gotta make a video. Start making videos.
Man, I feel like I've come across as a dummy this podcast because you are just laying down all these video game trivias.
Anyway, so I showed this trailer to my girlfriend, and she was like, you're right, this is art. And I was like, that's...
My friend Gage is gonna talk to you. Oh, and Niall, he'll be there, oh, too. Well, they're gonna talk about the things they wanna say. Speak about their lives from day to day. They're gonna dive into the nuts and bolts. Welcome y'all to Always Adults.
It's actually Almost Adults.
I slapped my own face because I have to hold my microphone because I don't have a stand anymore.
What happened to your stand?
It was a shitty fucking... Do not get a microphone stand on Amazon ever. Those $20 stands.
Oh, yeah, the Amazon stands. Yeah, you're telling me about that.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very sleepy edition of Almost Adults. I've been up since 3 a.m. How are you, Niall?
You have?
Yeah.
What have you been doing up since 3 a.m.?
I've been working on videos. I went to the gym.
Okay.
I went grocery shopping. Come on, man. I'm just trying to, divulge some of my life, and you slam me down.
I'm severely hungover right now. Severely. Still adjusting to pounding the water in the coffee. And we are here today with our special guest. Gage? Wait, this is part of the podcast, right? Dude, this is a disaster.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
I mean, it's par for the course for our podcast. We have Bunty King on. Yay!
Well, the yay makes it seem like it's like people aren't going to be excited about this at all.
We'll edit a fucking roaring, booming cheer from a crowd.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, I, for one, am very excited that Bunty's here because every time I interact with Bunty, I get a little smile on my face.
Duh.
That's good, man.
Because he's just a positive Peter.
Yeah, positive Peter. That's the first
positive
time
Peter. Yeah. We met at that bar in Burbank.
Oh, McFadden's?
No.
Oh, the bar at Burbank. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
There's like three.
The Burbank bar.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Though. I remember exactly where I saw you, and you came up to me and you asked me why. I think you asked me why I'm so nice to people or something like that. It felt like a weird question because, I'm a little bit on the defensive side. As nice as I am and as open as I am with people, I'm pretty defensive in the sense that, I'm on guard for people trying to take advantage of that at all times, So just with what I've been through on the internet in the last, year. Not that Gage gave off that vibe at all, but I was just, curious as to why he was wondering why I'm so nice to people. For me, I just think it's such an obvious thing, right? Unless you're some kind of weird masochist or some kind of psychopath that enjoys giving people, showing people a shit time.
Dude, LA's the spot for those people though. LA, they exist here.
Yeah, but they tend to hang out with themselves, They tend to hang out with people just like them, They're not going to really go out of their way to and meet new people. I find they don't do that or push themselves on new people. Most of the time they'll act that way, or they'll give off those vibes if they're at a party and they're forced to mix with certain people that they don't like with. That kind of shit is something I can see. But in terms of just being nice, man, I think it's just it's just par for the course, for being a human being.
The reason I asked that question was, full disclosure, I didn't really see any of your YouTube comment. I knew who you were, but I didn't know you as a person. So I was a little caught off guard by you just smiling. It tickled my interest, dare I say.
Yeah.
I said, who is this man? Why is he smiling so much?
Oh, well,
We're in LA.
Yeah, I just smile a lot, man, and I'm happy to be in LA, dude. I love the warm weather. I just love the people, being there with Chris, Lacey and Derek and you guys, the animator crew. First night I was in, we went to Perry's going away thing, and Perry was just so fucking welcoming, man. I could not believe it. I'm like, this guy's a dude. I'm like, this guy's sick. What a cool
Perry's
guy.
Dope, dude.
Perry's so. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. It's just I mean, he's doing well, right? He's with the Rooster Teeth now, I believe.
Yeah.
Anyway, this guy was just like such a welcoming person, and I felt so at home. And so when I was in Burbank, when I'm in LA, I just feel like I'm at home. I don't feel like I'm away from home, you know? I do want to go home to like kind of get back on the grind, you know, like in Montreal, but like I would love to bring the grind over to LA because you know, just the warm weather. If I had a studio in LA, I'd be cranking out content all the time.
Yeah, 2019 goals though. Like
I am doing that right now.
Make it happen, bro. Yeah, dude. That's
what I'm doing now. I am cranking out content now. Like it's been getting really good. Like before the new year, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna start making videos. I gotta make a video. Start making videos. And now I'm working on a video every week, and I'm actually ahead of schedule with this one video coming out on Thursday. And like it's just a matter of kind of like getting ahead now. And I've got this set schedule with my streams. You know, I'm doing Monday to Friday, where every Sunday I'll like let people know what time I'm doing my streams at. But I'm trying to keep it consistent. I'm trying to start at 10, you know. I'll do these morning streams that people seem to really enjoy because I have a European audience. And it also is great for the people on the Pacific side because, you know, they'll have me on in the morning or something like that before they go to work. And it's cool. So there's like, it's just, it's a good time to start at. And yeah, just been doing that consistently. And people are really enjoying it, man. Like, it's just been really good. The vibe's been really good. There's been a lot of good shit happening IRL. So I've been able to kind of roll off of that as well. The year ended really well for me. And so now I'm carrying over that momentum, you know. I'm using the momentum for the new year.
Everything's coming out Bunty King.
I hope so, man. I really hope so. You know, the views aren't really there on my channel, on my YouTube channel, but at the end of the day, I'm making the content that I enjoy.
That's all that matters.
It's only a matter of time.
And then occasionally sell out a little bit, you know, just for the money, and then make the stuff you like for the rest of it. I'm just looking at your thumbnails here, and I just see one called "Smelly People. Let's Talk." And
yeah.
And it's you going.
That was a fun one. That was when I started taking public transportation again for the first time in like over 2 years. And I took it during the hottest month of the year.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
The bus?
And it was so sweaty and so stinky. And people were just walking around. Like, this one guy got on with the fucking wife beater. And his, like, armpit hairs were long. And he was just smelling out the place. And he was like crazy. He was like, he had some kind of lollipop that turns into chewing gum.
Oh.
And he was just being, it was the worst.
It's called a blow pop. Thank you very much. Us blow pop.
Oh, yeah, blow
experts.
pop. That's it, blow pop.
Yeah, Gage likes to go on roller skates and, like, lick a lollipop.
Yeah, in my short shorts. Yeah. Hell yeah. I attract all the boys, you bet.
So he was chewing that, and he like then took the stick and he like tossed it out the window. So not only was he stinky, he was littering. I was like, oh man, I can't believe this, you know. And I was like, look, if you're like an adult and you're still stinky, man, there's a problem. Because and the story was pretty much about how I was stinky, you know, back in the day. And as a kid, when I was like in high school, until I figured out like, you know, how to wear deodorant, because my parents never taught me how to do it, you know. I was around 15, 16 when I started wearing deodorant. And
that was like one of the first things my parents taught me when I was like 10.
My parents did not give me any deodorant. They were like, just shower, you know, and I thought that was it. You know, showering twice a day would help, but no, man, you got to have deodorant on. So anyway, I was like, I learned that as a high schooler. I mean, if someone hasn't learned that by the time they're an adult, there's a fucking problem, you know, like they clearly haven't been listening to the people around them. For me, there was so much pressure. There was like pressure from all the kids in my class. There was pressure from the teachers. I remember this one time, this is so crazy. This teacher tried to politely address the entire class about me while I was in the class without actually mentioning me, but kind of...
Oh, no.
Everyone knew.
But everyone knew, but I didn't know. I was completely oblivious to it, man. I was, once again, like, my parents had it in my mind that, you know, they had put it in my mind that, like, all I needed to do was just shower twice a day and things were going to be good.
Twice a day?
Yeah, I do shower twice a day.
That's 100% more than I shower a day.
Yeah, that's more than me, man. I only shower once.
Yeah, I try showering twice a day. Yeah, showering twice a day, and that's a habit that I've had since I was a kid, right? But you know, obviously you need to wear deodorant too. So anyway, that was why I made that video about smelly people. I was like, man, maybe someone's gonna watch this. They're a little stinky. Maybe they'll start wearing some fucking deodorant.
Hey man, that's helping people.
Good.
Oh, what helped me the most though was I was entirely too old too. I was like 18, and I was like, oh, I get an extra 5 minutes of sleep. All I gotta do is chop out the shower out of my schedule and I'm good. I get 5 more sleep. And then I sat beside a girl and she was like, you stink. Never again. It was just because it was a girl and I couldn't. Never again.
Stuff like that is traumatizing as a kid.
But it helps. Sometimes, you know, sometimes harsh.
It totally helps.
Yeah, sometimes when it's harsh and you get shit like just told to you, it helps.
Yeah, dude, I remember one time at camp I was being like annoyingly funny and someone whispered in my ear like, you're not funny. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna be the funniest motherfucker in the world. And I haven't forgot about him, so shout out to that guy.
I mean, like, I had people tell me I wasn't funny. I had people tell me I was ugly. I had people tell me I was like, I wasn't going to go anywhere. One of my teachers spoke to my mom, and he said, you know, if anything, he's going to get a job from a back door. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, like, those are kinds of weird things that people would say about me. And obviously none of that shit was true, because I've gotten jobs just like by talking to people straight up, just, you know, going up to them being like, this is what I can do, get a job, done, easy. It's never been difficult for me to get work. It's just crazy. I've been surrounded by people who've been trying to like pretty much push me down my whole life, essentially. So, well,
fucking terrible. But wait, we got to do can we do a job interview with you, Bunty King, like a fake one?
Sure.
Okay. Hello there, Mr. King.
Hey, what's up?
What are your strengths?
Well, I'm really good at working with large teams, small to large teams. I'm very good at giving feedback. So if anything needs to be corrected or rectified, I'm able to deliver the feedback effectively without hurting anyone's feelings. I'm also really open to taking feedback. I am really focused. So if there's a task at hand, I'll go ahead and take care of that and make sure that it's done to the best of my ability. Another thing I'm really good at is just being a leader. Like if I need to take charge on a project, I'll absolutely do that, and I'll make sure that it's been done effectively, and that the people on the team are all playing to their strengths.
Wow, good. So what are your weaknesses?
My weaknesses are that I have a bit of an imposter syndrome. I think that I don't belong sometimes. It tends to cripple me from time to time, where I like sit there and I'll be like, am I supposed to be here? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Do people even respect me? What's going on? I tend to maybe sometimes take on a little bit more than I can handle at the moment, before, actually just taking a step back to kind of reassess the situation. So sometimes it can just cause a little bit of a hiccup in the workflow.
Hey, oh man, you had me sold there. At least you didn't say, sometimes I work too hard and I'm too good at my job.
My greatest weakness is I'm a perfectionist, and
well, I am definitely a perfectionist, and that's a problem, big time. And it's just because I take too much time to like make things perfect sometimes. So like that's the thing that I have to let go of.
I have that too, and
I do the same
thing. And I have the imposter syndrome. Do you get nervous before you post stuff?
It depends on what it is. Yes, almost all the time. I always think everything that I'm uploading is stupid. Like when I uploaded this Fortnite video, I was like, fuck. I'm like, this video is so dumb.
Just the initial.
That was one of my favorite videos from you.
But then I watched it and I was like, this is actually really smart. I was like, all right, this is cool. It's not bad. Dope. I also have like a really supportive girlfriend who's just been like really, really, really amazing in terms of like, she watches all my content and she sees all my interactions on Twitter and provides me like really good feedback in terms of like what is working, what isn't, what I should do more of. And just seeing her enjoy the content is great, because she's not a gamer and she's a total normie. Like, I think I'm a normie, she's way more of a normie than I am. And ideally, like, I tell her all this all the time, like, you're my demographic, you're the people that I want to like really kind of connect with. I also obviously want to connect with the people who play video games, because I mean, that's obvious, I'm going to connect with them because we have that in common. But I want my gaming content to be normie friendly, in the sense that like people who don't know about games can watch it and be like, oh, this is cool. Okay, I get it. I get why games are a thing, Yeah. That's something that I feel is kind of lacking within, gaming content or gaming commentary or the games industry.
Kind of like a bridge between, like, people who don't really play games and just, like, hardcore gamers who watch content on YouTube.
I feel like that's been my role for a while, man. I've loved connecting people. I love connecting communities. I love, like, connecting just, like, if I know that there's someone that's cool, another person that's cool, and I know that if they work together, they'd make something good happen, I'd want to make that happen, Yeah. I think that the gaming industry could really benefit from, like, a lot more gamers. The gaming industry could benefit from just people who are interested in art. They want art, but they also want games. Or they need to be shown that the art in the games that are already there. When I started dating my girlfriend, this was like in September, I sent her a text. I said, you gotta watch this trailer. And it was the E3 trailer for The Last of Us Part 2. The one that was this year. The one that everyone was freaking out about because there was lesbians in it, which is stupid.
I wasn't mad at that, dude. Like, I don't know why so many people were mad.
Most normal people weren't mad at it, It's just most people who are completely disconnected from, like, the series, or they just think they see a conspiracy and everything, they were mad at it. And, man, even just saying that, they were so upset and angry at the fact that I was just saying it the way I was. But whatever. It is what it is.
What was your opinion, if you don't mind sharing it, like, real quick.
Oh, my opinion was that it's like, it was a really beautiful trailer. It was like just really well done. Like the transitions were very perfect. I liked the amount of gameplay that they showed. It looked very brutal. It looked like they pretty much improved on every mechanic that existed in the first game. I'm hoping that stealth plays a more, important role. I hope that AI, the AI for the enemies is a lot better. It looks like it's better. The fact that they're searching around and stuff like that.
I'm super hesitant about that game. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
The first one left such an impact. It's gonna be hard to keep up, but hopefully they do it.
Oh yeah, that's.
That's it. That's it for you. You think you're not sure if it's gonna live up to the first one?
Well, no, I'm just worried just like how orchestrated that trailer was, like how much of it was staged, how much of it was just gameplay.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. So yeah, of course I'm thinking about that, but then again, because I played the first one, I see some similarities, and I think about how the tech's advanced since then. We're in 2019. The last one came out in 2013. Dude, that's over 5 years ago. That's over 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Man. That's crazy. And the game still looks good, by the way. Like the 2013 version still looks good. The remaster looks amazing. And like, I know that if they did it then I know what's capable now, so it's very possible that everything that they've shown is going to be in the game as well. So anyways, I was really excited about a lot of stuff in that trailer, and I just thought the outrage was really stupid. And once again, it was the same kind of people, except on a completely different side. You know what I mean? Like, you have the people who will like lose their shit over someone saying the wrong thing, and then you have an outrage mob for that. It's the same kind of mentality, except against a progressive viewpoint or something like that, which I was like, whatever, man. Like, if you played the games, you played the expansion or the DLC, you'll know that Ellie is a lesbian. Ellie's into chicks. Like, that's just the way it is. Anyway, so I showed this trailer to my girlfriend, and she was like, you're right, this is art. And I was like, this is what it is, man. I'm like, she doesn't play games, and I can show this to her, and she can watch it, and she can appreciate what's there. I need to do more of this. I want to get more people like her into games, or into the idea of gaming, because I think that it is effectively going to be a mainstream storytelling medium. That's what I think is going to be. I
think so, and I'm surprised how far off we still are from gaming hitting the mainstream. We're still having the do video games cause violent arguments, and we still have gaming's for nerds arguments. I see that all the time, and I work in the game industry, and it surprises me how disconnected people are, and how, what's the word, not repulsed, like against video games. I should say.
I don't feel like there's a general against video games vibe anymore. I think that's been long gone. I think that there's a cautionary vibe now, because people understand that video games and their reward loops are very addictive. That's why I can see people like being a little bit cautious about, exposing young children to video games, because I know what I was like when I was a kid, like just all I wanted to do was sit down in front of the TV and play. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't care about homework or anything like that. So it's so easy to kind of hook a kid into video games. So I can understand like the caution that some people may exert over the medium, but at the same time,
a lot of those people who have that argument though, the feedback loop, I understand, dopamine hits and all that, but you're like, when you get too scientific about it, you're kind of taken away from the memories of when you're a kid and the inspiration some of the games would give you, and like,
oh yeah, for sure,
and like how much opens a whole new, like, entirely new worlds and possibilities,
and your imagination too. Like, your imagination really can go off. It's great. It really is. Like, it's a great medium. I don't call it just like a hobby anymore. It's literally a medium. If people can start introducing games in a manner that can suggest, hey, this is a way for you to tell your story, or this is a way for you to express yourself, or this is a way for you to go out and get active, which I think AR is going to really kind of play a role in. Like, once we have like legit AR where you can wear glasses and suddenly you'll be able to see things in the world.
It's going to be bigger than VR, I think. I think that's more of a like middle ground where that's more viable to like what will people be wearing.
Yeah, especially getting stuff on your phone and stuff.
Dude, once AR, like, if you can give anyone a pair of glasses and then a pair of gloves that, like, have like whatever sensors in them or something like that they can look down and they can do if you can give them that, once that happens, which I don't know when it's going to happen, but hopefully it happens soon, you're going to have people who don't ever play video games suddenly playing what is essentially a video game, but it's just an augmented reality video game. Imagine playing Pokemon. That's so sick. You're like walking around the world and all of a sudden, you see like a Pokemon, and you have like, you look down your hand and there's a Pokeball and you can actually toss it.
Yeah, dude. And that goes back to...
We essentially do have that now, just like lower quality,
yeah, well,
I guess.
It's the start of it. And also, yeah, but like that goes back to when I was a kid, all I wanted in the whole world was Pokemon to be real.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people
did.
Like,
I would have fucking recurring dreams of you get something in a little toy in a breakfast cereal, and it'll be Pokeball. And I'd be like so happy, and I'd wake up and I'd be like, no, it wasn't real. Yeah, but like nowadays, Yeah, they're getting close.
Imagine that, huh? Imagine Pokeballs being real. Imagine that. That's so sick.
Dude, yeah, and like...
That'd be sick. Honestly, I can't wait. It's going to get crazier and crazier, man. You know, I was talking to the lead developer of the game The Last Night. His name's Tim Soray. And we were talking about AR, right? And we were talking about what's the possibilities for the future, you know? And it's eventually just going to be like, you'll have something on your head that's going to like activate certain neurons that'll project images within your own eyeballs. Like, how crazy that is that? That I think is going to be like, I can't wait for that
that's
shit.
That's crazy.
I can't wait for that
Once
shit.
they start implanting the chips, that's what I think I'm going to draw the line. When they start like implanting the fucking things into your brain. Because then you're going to have advertisements.
I'm down, dude.
You're going to have advertisements in your dreams, dude. You'll be walking by, you'll be like, what the fuck, McDonald's again?
Not if you pay extra, stupid.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'll pay the premium. I'll pay the ad-free version. But I'm excited to see where the future is going to bring us. And I'm a big fan of transhumanism in the sense that like I would love to augment my body as much as possible, because you know the idea of being able to have a micro SD card in my brain just storing information so I can just
also
pull it up,
collecting
like,
information though. They'll know your fetishes, and fucking Jeff Bezos will be like sitting in his castle.
I don't care if anyone knows my fetishes. I mean, I can just like talk about all that shit.
You're
like,
very open. I've noticed that with your videos. You are insanely open. Like, that's appreciative. I do that stuff on my stream too. Like, I just talk about stuff that's going on, and I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's a good quality, because you know that like when people do that they're not gonna really bullshit you.
I do not have that quality whatsoever. I feel like I'm very reserved, and I'm very choosy what I put out into the world.
Well, I'm more choosy now. Like, I won't talk openly about my fetishes just like at random. I won't make a video dedicated to like shit like that, you know? I mean, if I'm asked about it, it's an easy thing to talk about. I'm like, whatever. Because it's honestly very vanilla. I'm a pretty vanilla person.
I am too, man.
I'm a fucking fiend.
I mean, in the sense that, like, for me, it's like, you know, like, there was, like, some people that were freaking out about how I eat ass. And I was like...
It's 2019, bro.
It's not even that crazy, man. Like, there's so many people that eat ass. What are you talking about? Like, it was just so weird. It was so weird when they were, like, trying to, like, talk about that kind of stuff. And I was just like, that's just... Because it's out of respect for, like, the people who have been in my life, like, the women who have been in my life. You know, my former partners, my current partner. You know, I don't want everyone to kind of like put two and two together to have to like figure out what's going on.
Oh, this is the one whose ass gets eaten. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you know, like when they look at her, they see like, plus, you know, our friends are following us. You know, her parents are going to be following me. Like, it's something that I'm going to try to like be chill about at the very least, you know? So if someone brings it up, I'll talk about it, but I'm not going to be like, yo, guys, totally ate some ass today, you know? I made use it as a joke.
You don't know how fast I would click on that video. Like, I just ate some ass today, and you having the thumbs up and the thumbnail. Oh, my God. I'm so excited for that video.
No.
So I thought that your channel before, when I found your channel, were you talking about more political stuff at one point?
Yeah, man, I was.
And did you just completely just cut that off, or do you just kind of...
Completely cut it off.
Dude, isn't it better?
I privated every single political video I ever made.
Yeah.
Even the drama content, like my drama commentary content. Like, I made a video on Keemstar, and I privated that. I recently checked my YouTube email, and I saw like that they were like manually turning off ads for some of the older ones, which I don't mind, because I looked at them and I was like, these are videos that I really don't even care about anymore. So, you know, I've been through a bit of a cleanup. I started cleaning up in November, and it just started feeling good. I mean, this is just something that was just really amazing. Just being able to go through and be like, this is stuff that I don't want to produce anymore. It attracted the wrong crowd, and I'm not saying that they're not welcome. They're totally welcome to stick around if they want to stick around, you know? I don't mind. Whoever watched me for my political content can come around and watch me for my gaming content. But
the ones who stick around are like the good ones anyway, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if my politics are all out there, I'm not going to go out of my way to talk about them. If someone wants to, once again, ask me personally, sure, I'll talk to them about politics for a little bit. I'm not going to spend a great deal of time talking about it, because my core audience, they just want to see games. They want me to talk about games. They want to talk about like life. They want to talk about good shit, the shit that, you know, makes people happy and brings people together.
That's good. It's bringing people together instead of like splitting people with politics.
Exactly. The people, once again though, they'll ask me questions about certain controversies that are happening on YouTube right now, and I'll respond as honestly as I can. I do have a more apathetic approach to a lot of stuff now, because the way I look at it is that, you know, you're putting content on YouTube, and YouTube doesn't owe you shit, man, because the moment you decide to stop uploading content, there's gonna be like 10 other people who are gonna decide to upload content too. They have more creators joining the platform year after year. It's just a matter of like, people just want to be online. People just want to be public, and YouTube's gonna continue to allow this, whether you have a channel or not. not, so that I have a bit of apathy in that regard, where I'm just like, you know, I'm not really a big fish here. I'm very much as small of a fish as you are, and I'm just going to keep being me, and hopefully the world will accept me as I am. And, you know, for the most part it has, because I started off in video games. That's something that annoys me sometimes. People will be like, oh, Bunty started in politics and then went and going to video games. It's like, no, asshole. That's just because you don't know what the fuck's going on. I started in video games, decided I'd go into politics because I saw you guys acting like crazy fucking people, and I thought maybe I could bring some order to it. Realized I bit off way more than I could chew. Was like, all right, I'm just gonna go back to playing video games. And that's pretty much what I'm doing now. Playing video games, talking about video games, having a good time. My next video is going to be on Condemned, which is a really good survival horror game that I played back in 2008. And I want to build the case for, you know, it being remade entirely. Not just remastered, but remade from the ground up for another run with today's audience.
Do you have any games besides Condemned that you really hope that they will get remade?
Red Faction.
What is Red Faction?
It's for the PS2.
Yeah, it was for the PS2 and PC. Red Faction 1 was like, it featured like you could destroy everything. You could destroy like all the walls. You could get through like levels. There was like secrets that you could explore. The first one is like, it was like a shooter, okay? And the second one was also more of a shooter. But they came out with Red Faction Guerrilla, which had some of the coolest destruction I've ever seen in terms of like buildings. It was unfortunate because it had a bad story and some of the gameplay was a little bit sloppy. It didn't feel right. It was a third-person game, so it felt like loosey-goosey.
Kind of experimental.
Yeah, there's got to be the balance. Like, there's got to be a way that we can have like a game, a third-person shooter that feels like an Uncharted game, but features the level of destruction that Red Faction had. So I would love to see a game like that. I would love to see a resurgence of Red Faction in third person, but with like Uncharted style, you know, like third-person controls, which are just super fluid with the kind of destruction that you'd have in Red Faction Guerrilla, which was just crazy. It was completely nuts. So that's another game I'd like to see remade. There's another one I'm thinking of, Burnout series. Like, you guys ever played Burnout?
Yeah, it's great. Burnout Paradise, Burnout 3.
Dude, I'm hardcore agreeing with you with all of this. Burnout could definitely do with a new title these days, man. Like, do you ever see those 3D simulations of car crashes and stuff that are just on YouTube?
Yeah.
And it's just them hitting what they could do with Burnout nowadays.
Oh man, they could be able to make the ultimate Burnout game these days, man. It'd be so sick.
So satisfying.
There's so much like cool stuff. Like, the tech has changed dramatically, man. And there's like, I'll see little posts every now and then from like Unity or something like that, showcasing like what's going on in their engine. I saw this one little thing where they made a cyberpunk city in the Unity engine. I'm like, this is so crazy. I'm like, this is something that like I would have tripped out over if you showed me this in like a decade ago. I'd be like, this is crazy. How is this real? You know? Everything that we enjoyed back then could definitely be ramped up today, you know, that same stuff. So that's why I think a game like, I mean, I don't know when this podcast is coming out. I imagine it's going to come out like after I come out with my video on Thursday.
Yes.
Much after that.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. Much after that.
Okay. So, I mean, the thing is that I was there playing this game Condemned in 2008, and I was like, holy shit, this is one of the scariest games I've ever played. You're playing as a detective that has to fight off like homeless people or psychopaths. It wasn't like you were fighting monsters. It was like straight up you're fighting other human beings that just wanted to kill you because they just wanted to kill you. They were super aggressive, you know? And it was just the coolest thing. And I also saw that like they came out with a sequel after. So that means that like the game came out, the first one came out, and it was enough of a success that they were like, let's make another one. And then the second one came out, it ended on a cliffhanger, and they didn't come up with another one. So it's clear that that game didn't perform as well. So there must have been something wrong with the trend. That kind of style of gameplay must not have been trending at the time. I think that in light of Resident Evil 2 remake coming out,
it'll be out by the time we release this podcast.
That's perfect. So Resident Evil 2 is coming out, and it looks amazing. It looks so good. I played it. It's so clear that there's love put into it. There's like, we want to make this game again, and they're not only that, they want to make it for the fans and do right by the series. And I think that we're entering an era where like you're going to see some games either remastered or remade. And I think that a game like Condemned definitely deserves a remake because the first one trended well enough to deserve a sequel. And I think that given the current audience, it will do really well. I almost guarantee it. Like, if I was working on the marketing for a Condemned game, I would make sure that it would probably be the best fucking, you know, horror game ever.
Let me ask you this. What do you think is missing from gaming today that you liked so much in the past? Could not be anything, but I'm just curious. Is there something you're like, oh man, that'd be great if they brought this factor back.
Well, the risk taking. I felt like there's a lot of games that just took a risk. Like Condemned was a risk. Like World of Warcraft was a risk.
I feel the same way too. There's a lot of sequels and just safe shooters coming out.
So safe.
A lot of zombie games.
A lot of people playing it super, super, super safe. Very few risks being taken. And I want to see more risks being taken because experimentation is so important in this industry. And I find it just like something that people need to start focusing on because the capital is there and the capital is going to continue to be there. This industry is not dying anytime soon. Like there's no way it's dying. There's no way it's dying. It is booming and it's ready for another boom. It's just like there's so much money to go around, and not in the sense that everyone's going to be getting rich, but more in the sense that we can all put it towards more creativity, more content, you know?
Yeah. A lot of that is a factor of, like, if something's successful and experimental, then there's going to be, like, 1,000 soulless knockoffs of it. But, like, yeah, we just need that, like, one fucking thing that pushes the envelope again.
I don't need everything to be 100% the best all the time. Like there's like, you know, for every horror game there's a bunch of shit horror games, and one of the things I actually talk about in my next video is the horror game genre is actually probably one of the hardest genres to produce for.
Yeah,
even just horror in general, like horror movies, most of them are shit, man.
I would say so.
Most of them are shit.
Good one, but it's also the easiest to make. You know, like a game like a Slender Clone, I could whip one out those up in like
you can
a couple
make
hours.
Exactly, something with jump scares, something that just gets people like freaking out, especially if you can price it, you know, appropriately. Because Slender was what, free? Slender was a free game, right? You were able to just download that off the internet.
Yeah, but then they made the sequel, which was like $20.
Then they made the sequel, which was just like $20, and that, you know, did kind of well, but not really, because you haven't really heard from Slender in a while now.
If I was that Slender guy, I would have cashed in right around then too. I'm like, yep. Give me the check now. Oh, dude, I'm still butthurt about PT, like 4 years later.
Oh, man. Yo, Konami sucks, dude. Fuck
know,
Konami,
dude.
man.
Fuck
What a
Konami,
shit
man.
company. They're so shit, dude. They're so ugly. One of the ugliest guys in the industry, you know? Like, people give a lot of shit to EA, but, like, dude, Konami straight up just killed a couple of good franchises.
Yeah, and they treated
Killed
Kojima
them.
How can you treat Kojima? He made the company pretty much.
He really put them on the map, man. He really did. Like, I mean, honestly, when I think Konami, I'd think Metal Gear, you know? And when I think Metal Gear, I'd be thinking, where's my wallet? It was just, like, simple as that. Not all the time. It took me a while to get back into Metal Gear, but once I got back into it with Metal Gear Solid 3,
Good one.
I got over the shit controls. I was like, fuck it. This story is good. This story is so good.
Did you play the overhead version or the kind of over the shoulder?
I played the overhead version. Then I played Subsistence.
Yeah.
Then I went and actually bought Subsistence. Like, I own Metal Gear twice. It was a good game. It was a really, really good game. Plus, I found out about all the secrets, how you could, like, kill the end right after a cutscene as he's being wheeled away. If you have a sniper rifle, I was like, this is so good. And I managed to do it.
If you change your PS2 to 2 weeks in advance, he's dead.
Yeah, he's just dead. He's just an old dude that's dead. It was a really well done game for the time or whatever tech that he was using. And yeah, so that got me back into the series. And then I bought Twin Snakes for the GameCube, and I bought Metal Gear Solid 2, which I wasn't really too crazy for. But, you know, I played through them. And then Metal Gear Solid 4 came out. I didn't have a PlayStation 3, but a friend did, and I stayed up at his house the entire night and pretty much beat the game over a weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Have you heard of the YouTuber Matthew Matosis?
No, I haven't.
He does really in-depth game reviews. I think you should check him out. He might sway your opinion on Metal Gear Solid 2, and he'll tell you like why it's good. And I know that's weird to say, like after you played it and you have your opinion formed already, but like he completely swayed my opinion just by watching a video. I was like, I fucking love the game now. You should check it out. He goes like really in depth of like the actual meaning behind 2 and all that. Have you played the Phantom Pain though?
Oh, dude, I mean, I just did a stream with the Phantom Pain. I mean, I played the Phantom Pain when it came out I played it on the Xbox One, and I got all the way through the epilogue. The story is literally the weakest in any Metal Gear series.
For sure.
So it's definitely the weakest, but in terms of gameplay, it was just a marvel. It's just the best stealth game I have ever played. It is so good. The stealth is incredible.
It's like a go-to when I like turn off my brain and I just want to play something, you know, like because the stealth is just so like it's just so fun.
Do you really turn off your brain when playing it? I feel like I don't turn off it. I feel like my brain's turned on, but in the right way. It's not turned on in a way that's like I need to be on watching everything at all times. It's very like chilled out, you know?
I got that muscle memory at this point. I've been playing it so much.
I need to get back into it, man. I played one mission on the Xbox, and I'm like, I don't think this is for me. But every time I see it streamed or someone else plays it, I'm like, should give that game another chance. But then my Xbox broke, and now I need to buy it again.
Yeah, so I've been playing Phantom Pain. I know that Metal Gear 2 has legend status because Metal Gear 2, when that came out, that was like, it was a technological leap, you know, between the first one and the second one. It's a major technological leap. Like, it looked so much better. That's just the opening for Metal Gear Solid 2, like when you're playing with Snake. The lighting, the use of lighting, the use of like the environment, the fact that you're on a boat, you know, it just was so well done.
That was actually one of the things. It was like the epilogue for 2. Or the prologue, sorry. Wait, which one is first? It's the prologue, right?
A prologue. Yeah, it's a prologue.
Yeah, the prologue where you're playing as Snake. Apparently that was Kojima. He was giving everybody their expectation. Oh, like he was giving everybody what they wanted from 2, and then he just ripped it from them deliberately after the prologue by killing off Snake, quote unquote, and you're playing as this like kind of worse Snake in every way. Apparently that was deliberate.
Oh yeah, I don't expect him to do anything that isn't deliberate, you know? Like, he's a very calculated individual in terms of like his vision. He's always been like a weird guy. That's the thing about Kojima that I really like about him, is that he's an ultimate creator in the gaming space. That's what's cool about him. So yeah, I love Metal Gear. Love the stealth. I'm excited by video games, man. I'm so excited. I love talking about them. I could talk about them for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and there's no shortage of things to talk about in video games. So it's really cool.
Please do, man. It's a treat just to hear someone passionate talk about their passion.
Oh, it's fucking so good. I love it.
Have you played any of the Bayonetta games?
No.
That's what I've been trying to play recently.
No, I can't, man. That shit's too much for me. It's like, too much, I mean, it's like literally like I'm like bored.
Oh, really?
It's just like non-stop enemies. And I'm just like, eh.
I'm kind of the same way. Are you more of a like you kind of like good immersive stories and worlds and stuff?
Yeah, I don't like shit thrown in my face. You know, like I like games that are similar to that Devil May Cry Bayonetta formula, which is like God of War. You think God of War is like a perfect happy medium for me?
I'm the complete opposite with shit being thrown at me. Something new has to be thrown at me like every single level, or else I just get bored and stop the game. The stories don't really mean that much to me, because if the game's there, then why do I need the story? So I put stories like low on my priorities when it comes to
let's put it this way. I guess I play games to relax, not to be like for like 20 minutes and then turn it off. So that's kind of where it comes from for me. Like I just like chilling back and just throwing on. Like I'm playing Red Dead 2. It's good to just like explore around like a world that's that. And I know it's got a lot of shit because they're using the old Rockstar formula where you have to follow people a lot and transport people to places and stuff, which isn't fun.
Yeah.
I like mundane shit for some reason.
Yeah, I could never get into Red Dead 2.
I loved Red Dead 2 from beginning to end, but then after Red Dead 2, because I wanted to write a review, and in order to write a review, I had to record B-roll from the game, which meant that I had to like go and do specific things in the game, and I was so fucking annoyed. I was like, I don't like traveling in this game. Like, what's going on? Like, I don't want to travel here. Like, it takes forever for me to get here. There's no real fast travel. I gotta take some train, then I gotta go to town, and then like after the town, I gotta travel up some other way. And I'm just like, this is just, I can't, it's too slow. Like, it's beautiful. The first time you play it, you're like, wow, there's so much in this world. This world's teeming with life. And there is. Like, you can see the animals interacting with it. You can see the animals interacting with the NPCs. The towns feel alive. Every town feels unique. They all have their own personalities. The way NPCs react to you, like, it was so crazy. This was actually one of the best things that I've seen in a game. And it's really simple. I think it's almost very simple coding on their end. But, like, the way an NPC reacted to me beating the shit out of someone on the middle of the street in, like, Saint Denis, versus the way an NPC reacted while I was doing the exact same thing in Valentine was amazing, because they were like, what are you doing? There's like this small town vibe, right? Versus the big city vibe where people are like, oh, that's none of my business, you know? Straight up, I punched a dude in front of a police station. Nothing happened. Whereas you get into a fight in Valentine and the sheriff they'll come out or say something. So that's the kind of stuff that I really appreciated about the game, but it didn't offer like a continuous adventure, and I'm waiting for a game that'll offer me a continuous adventure where it really is random, where something will happen where, you know, like I'll be like, oh, I can do this, or oh, I can explore this, and I don't know when that's gonna happen, but you know, it's almost there. It's gonna come.
I feel like Rockstar just needs to cut their games in half, story-wise, I should say, because it's that old saying, just leave them wanting more and give them what they don't expect what they want. So if you lie everything out in front of them, then they're going to be like, oh, I can do A, B, and C, and D. Done. But if you just lie A, B, and C, they're going to keep wondering what that D is, if you know what I'm saying.
I'm picking that one up. Dick joke.
Yeah, I kind of agree. They should probably maybe shorten the stories a bit, because it was very long. It was a very long experience. I wouldn't have hated a shorter story. And I think that it would be really cool, maybe instead of spending that extra time, you know, on like the third or fourth act, they spend time on
fixing up the rest, like making it more fun, making more shit to do in the world.
Exactly. Endgame is super important. I think that endgame is gonna end up being one of the more important things, because people are transitioning now into, you'll still have video games that are just like that one and done stuff where it's like this is the game, this is what it does, enjoy it. Like games like Spelunky, or like I'm talking about like games that you'll find on Steam or a platformer,
like
or
Shovel Knight or something.
Yeah, exactly. This is what the game does. This is what it does. Have fun, enjoy it. That's it. It's over after this, and that's all. But for companies to want to make their games, more profitable in the future, they're going to start positioning their games as a service, and they're going to want to have their online element, which is what Red Dead Online was, right? They're like, all right, well, you're done with Red Dead. You want to be a cowboy. Here's the option to be a cowboy. Do all the things you can do in Red Dead, but also, have the added players here. But I still find that that's not even the best. I mean, I want to see something where, you can just play alone and enjoy it. And I can't find myself playing Red Dead alone after the game is over, after the story's done, and enjoy it, That
was my problem with God of War. I finished it, and they're like, there are 2 whole other realms you can go to. And I went, what? And they turned out to be, just go in here, grind a little bit, come back out, go back in, grind a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so that was very disappointing for God of War, because other than that, I love the game.
The new one?
Yeah, it was such a good game.
Yeah, you probably have a point with all that post-game stuff. I haven't thought about that. Man, I feel like I've come across as a dummy this podcast, because you are just laying down all these video game You're laying down all this video trivia.
Now you're a dummy. You weren't a dummy before that.
No, man, you're good, dude. I just play video games a lot, man. I've been playing games forever. Let me just give you a brief history of where I am as a gamer, right? So I don't remember exactly where I first played a video game. I don't remember exactly where, but I do remember it being Mario. And then after that, I remember my father buying me a Nintendo. And he bought me Mario, which had Duck Hunt on it and all that stuff, and I even had the gun and all that. And since then, I was hooked, man. I was playing Mario every single day. I really wanted to just get good at it. But eventually, my parents saw that my grades started declining, which they were, because I wasn't really doing schoolwork. I was just coming home, playing games, and I was tired. I was falling asleep in class because I just wanted to play games. And so they just completely took it away from me.
Yeah, mine did that too.
And, eventually I started doing well again. In grade 1, I was doing super well in school, and
we're not even past grade 1.
Yeah. In grade 1, I was doing super well in school. Like I got top of the class marks. So my dad was like, I want to buy him a Sega for Christmas. All right, so he buys me a Sega for Christmas, and that came with Sonic the Hedgehog too.
Dude, I see where this is going. The grades, they go right back fucking down.
But it was interesting. Like I had the opportunity to play every now and then, but it was like rare. It was like once a month, maybe once every 2 months, if anything. I'd have to ask my parents, I'd have to beg them, and so when I did get the opportunity to play games, I would play them excessively. Like if I could sneak in playing games, I would. I was like, I need to do this now. I need to get it in now. And like if I had 20 minutes to play the game, I would just spend the 20 minutes playing the game with my parents didn't know. Eventually what ended up happening was that they just really kind of started tightening their grip on it quite excessively, and I wasn't really able to play games that often at all. But anytime I went to a friend's house, if they had games, I'd play it. I'd do it, So when I went to this dude's house, I played Doom for the first time, was blown away by that. I was like, this is it. This is what I want to play.
I was like that with Wolfenstein.
Yeah. I also played Wolfenstein on the school computers. We had these computers that we'd bring the Wolfenstein demo on a 3.5 floppy drive. I remember that.
I did the exact same thing.
As I got older, I started during my summers, I started sneaking off to this hobby shop that had a little console set up. I paid for half an hour of time, and I just pick a game and I just play. And sometimes I spend 2 hours there.
I did that all the time at Target and Walmart when they used to have the GameCubes.
You were that kid?
Oh, hell yeah.
Dude, that's how I played Metal Gear.
Oh, really?
My experience with Metal Gear the first time was through the demo at the grocery store in the electronics section. And I remember getting to the first part where you come out of the sub, whatever it is, and I'd never played a game like it before, and I was I tried to fight the guys, and it just was a failure. Fighting them was shit, The elevator was locked down. You couldn't go up the elevator. They'd end up showing up the elevator, and it was just a problem. And then when I got into the elevator, when I snuck on and I got to the second level, I was like, oh shit. I'm like, this is it. It clicked with me. I was like, this is so cool. Of course, it was just a demo, and I never played the actual full Metal Gear game until I was, much older, and I bought
Did the demo only go up to the elevator?
It went up the elevator, and then there was the helipad part. That was my gaming experience younger, and then eventually when I was able to just play games whenever I wanted, I overdid it. I fucking played way too many games. So now as an adult, I'm able to control myself. I don't need to actually play games every day. But yeah man.
I wish I had that discipline, man. I'm horrible with oh, I'll just play like a game.
Oh,
and then
well,
6 hours later.
I'm the same. I'm the same when it comes to Siege. When I'm playing Siege, I'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna play one match. No, that's why I just stream, man. I stream. Like that 10 o'clock stream schedule for me is so important to me because it's like me doing something that I'm actually good at, which is just live streaming video games and entertaining people while playing these games.
And making that green sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, yeah, that's great, and that's where the subs come in. And I've been hitting my sub goals and stuff like that, and it's just great because when people sub to the channel, they're subbing because they appreciate the content that's being presented to them at that very moment, which is great. Which means that there's nothing more I need to do beyond just making better live streams, and that's just fun for me. It's also great because it allows me to play video games 5 days a week and monetize it. Why not? Like, why can't I play 5 games? I'd love to. I want to make video games my life, man. That's why I want to work in the games industry at some point, do either by hosting events or working from a strategic standpoint. Like, I would love to do that. It's just the best thing.
That really is awesome.
Best thing.
And you're making it happen.
Yeah, man.
Oh, well, I hope so. I hope that a games company will be like, I hope that I put out this Condemned video and people are like, this guy maybe is really onto something. Like, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should get this petition going and make it happen.
Well, if they can make 2 Condemned games, I don't see why they can't make a third one 10 years later.
They probably could.
I don't see why they can't remake it for completely brand new audiences. Like, think about this, right? This game came out in 2008. The audience for video games was much smaller than it is today. The audience for video games is much bigger, and they were able to make this game using existing tech for X amount of dollars. I mean, I don't know how much more expensive games are to make these days, but I can only imagine that the tools available aren't all that much better, which means that if you could devote a good amount or whatever the amount was at the very least to another game, I mean, we could get this game out to a much larger audience and it would be so much better and it would just be incredible. I want it. I just want them to make this game really sick.
I'm looking forward to it. Dude, I had the same feeling with a game series called Beautiful Joe. They did 1 and they did 2 and they're like, we're going to make a 3rd one to wrap it all up, and they never did. So
was that like a Gabe Newell?
No, that wasn't a Gabe Newell thing. It was just like I think the studio shut down or something. Those guys went on to make like Okami and Bayonetta, so they're doing all right now, but I'm still waiting for Beautiful Joe 3, man.
I never played Beautiful Joe.
It's never happening.
Hey, it's a great game. I recommend it. Well, I guess if you're not a fan of like beat 'em ups, then maybe it's not for you. Give it a shot.
It was a side-scroller beat 'em up, right?
Yes.
I don't mind beat 'em ups that much, I didn't mind them, but I don't know if I'd have to play it again to see what I like about it. I'd like to see a Double Dragon remake, like a really good one.
Did they remake Double Dragon? I feel like they did.
There was like an Xbox, like one that you could just download, but it was just not good. It just didn't feel right. Like there was something wrong with it. I didn't like it. It just didn't vibe with me.
Battletoads is coming back. I don't see why Double Dragon can't come back.
I would love to see Double Dragon using the tech that The Last Night is using. Do you guys know The Last Night?
Yes. Yeah. I've seen the trailer for this. This game looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. But imagine a Double Dragon game using that art style. That would be so sick.
You're right, actually. I completely agree with that. That would be sick.
That'd be incredible. Man, I just need people to fucking listen to me and make the games that I recommend they make.
Well,
just make it, dude.
You need to get really rich, and then you can give people money to make them.
Oh man, wouldn't that be incredible? I would love to do that. I would love to just be like, this is all the money I have. Here you go, take this, man. Oh, no worries, it's just a drop in the pond for me. Just make this fucking game, have fun. Oh, your team needs this much money. Here you go. Here you go, man. Enjoy. Can't wait to see the end result.
That's exactly what I would like to do too. If I was rich, I would just waste all my money just making games.
Dude, there's so much bullshit that happens around the industry where these developers just get dicked around, man. They just get dicked around by these fucking publishers with budget cuts, wanting to meet margins, all that, the basic corporate bullshit that they have to deal with on a day-to-day. When all these guys want to do, ideally, I think that they're designing a game that they would want to play. They're not designing a game that they wouldn't want to play. Kojima wants to play his own games. I'm certain of it.
Even if they do want to make a lot of money, like a lot of these guys, they're passionate and they're still making the thing they want to make. And when they don't do that, when it's just a soulless money grab, I mean, it's obvious.
It shows, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Candy Crush, those dudes, I don't think they...
Well, I mean, there's always going to be that stuff, right? You have these mobile games that come out that have ads that play every time you die. And it's the nature of things. You're going to have 100 shit things for one good thing. You're going to have more mediocre things than you're going to have amazing things. And that's the way it should be, because it makes you appreciate those amazing things so much more. A major realization I had about the video game industry was when I worked at a video game store. I worked at this store called Microplay around my house, and it was one of the coolest jobs I ever had. The amount of shit games I saw come into the store, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like there was so many bad games, so many duds.
Do you have any examples?
Call out those video games, man.
Dark Sector. Yeah.
Dark Sector, you've been put on blast by Bunty King. Pew, pew, pew.
But not really. It wasn't terrible, but it was just like not good.
It's just kind of mediocre. I think that's the worst crime that a game or a movie or a TV show can have, just being forgettable and mediocre and bland. Because if it's a bad game, you'll remember it. If it's a great game, you'll remember it too. But if it's in the middle...
Oh, this was the era where they tried to do that blue lighting on everything to make it seem dramatic. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. So I just realized that Digital Extremes made this game, and they went on to make Warframe, and then Warframe also has like some... Yeah, I see the Warframe influence. So yeah, there was also... People really liked The Force Unleashed. I wasn't crazy about The Force Unleashed. I thought it was very meh. You didn't feel like a Jedi, really.
Yeah, that wasn't satisfying at all to kill enemies in that game.
It was not at all.
And you have a lightsaber, which is supposed to be the most satisfying weapon, so you're like, oh yes, can't wait to slice some dudes. Yeah, and then...
Did you have to hit them like several times?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was back in like 2009, 2007, right?
We're talking about Dark Sector?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. Oh, Force Awakens was...
No, I'm sorry.
The Force Unleashed was 2007. 2008, September 16th, 2008. I wasn't crazy about it, man. And I also just played Jedi Academy, Jedi Knight 3, which is Jedi Academy, and that was so sick. I was like, wow. I mean, I think that like there's so much potential for another Star Wars game like that to come out, but they just need to make it, man. Like the fact of the matter is, like, there was a major shift between the market that games were focused on before. Like once PlayStation 2 came around, the market started gradually shifting a little bit more, like the 3D games, right, market. I'm talking about like the games where, like, before PlayStation 2 came out, where were 3D games being mainly developed? They were being developed for PC, you know? Like that's where they were getting. You had the Quake 2s, you had Heretic, you had like Hexen, you had all these games that would come out for PC. Unreal Tournament, PC game.
Yeah.
And then PlayStation 2 rolls around, and then suddenly people are like, oh, there's another market. We can make these PC quality games on a console as well.
But,
you know?
But it's still never as good to play a shooter on a controller.
It isn't, but for people who were coming off of Nintendo 64 and were playing GoldenEye, making that transition to PlayStation 2 was just easy. It was smooth for them.
Yo,
right?
have you played GoldenEye?
And so,
sorry, cut you off.
I did play GoldenEye when I was younger, but once again, because I didn't have access to my own console, I'd only play it through friends, at a friend's place.
But I was going to say, have you played it recently?
Oh, it's so shit.
It's not how you remember it at all, dude. It's so terrible.
Oh, no, it's so garbage. I can't touch it. It's disgusting. It's one of the ugliest experiences I've ever had. Like, I can't do it. No, it's not. Like, it's clear it was made for a time where people weren't used to that kind of game, and at that time it just felt like that was the natural way to play the game based upon the control schemes that they were used to with all the other games before. But you know, I can imagine someone who was playing Unreal Tournament or something like that, you know, on their PC and never having played GoldenEye, going to N64 to play GoldenEye and probably vomiting, being like, what's the controls here? Like, these are so bad, because mouse and keyboard hasn't really changed, right? WASD, that's like a thing. That's been a thing for a while.
Didn't you have to use the like Joy-Con in a weird way, like, for that game?
Yeah, you had to like hold Z and then use
You had to mangle your fingers to fucking play that game. And as a kid, you're just like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. But I feel like nowadays a PC player can go and play with dual analog sticks, and it makes more sense because it's, you know, they're using one stick is for movement and the other stick is for looking around, which is what the PC effectively did with the keyboard and mouse, right? Your mouse is for looking around, your keyboard is for movement. But looking back now, I saw like this shift to a more console focused market, right? And so I feel like the 2000s and like after 2010 were pretty console heavy, man. Like a lot of people focusing on consoles. Like consoles were the gateway to a lot of gaming.
I feel like that's the exact time when like kind of more casual people started flooding over to games. Like it became more mainstream around then, like 2010, 2011. Like the nerd culture kind of took over a little bit.
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Call of Duty was big time.
Speaking of soulless dopamine hits, dude, they got that nailed so well. Like Black Ops 4, I love it. They reuse old maps and like it's just they just don't care. They're just like, here you go.
Yeah,
but it's so fucking good.
They know what you like.
Well, what Black Ops 4 did pretty well, I'm not even sure if they're doing it super well anymore, is that they pretty much took the Battle Royale format and made it really good. You know, like they did really kind of polish it quite a bit.
It's better
like,
than PUBG.
Well, the movement is so much better than any other like first person battle royale. It's so good. Like,
hey guys, it's Gage. I'm editing the episode, and quick little editor's note: this is before Apex Legends came out, where it was dropped on our heads like the sweet baby Jesus was dropped onto this earth. So yeah, that's probably the best battle royale game. Well, I would argue Tetris 99, but yeah. Go check out Apex Legends. Bunty killed Ninja in there. Anyways, back to the episode.
You actually go through doors. You actually like vault through windows when you want to do it. You know, you pick up items when you want to pick them up. There's obviously other things like it's the sound issues. They have sound issues. They have like, I think they maybe have hackers. But yeah, PUBG is hurting. But PUBG is another thing where like they clearly have the right idea, but they don't have the execution. And the reason why they don't, I think, is because they're not really like the guys that make PUBG. They're not AAA developers, dude. They're just indie developers.
See, the reason why I'm interested in PUBG, and PUBG is probably one of the worst ones. A side note, there's this Chinese one called Ring of Elysium that I've been keeping my eye on. It's free right now, and it just runs so smoothly,
I heard.
And they have so many fun little mechanics in it, and that game's pretty dope. PUBG's, I don't feel like anything they make is going to be like, they're not going to hit the nail on the head, because that started out with DayZ, or Arma 3, which was
DayZ, right?
Our H1Z1 was like a DayZ clone, and DayZ was so boring, but they had the right idea. So these developers are always good with like just having the right idea but not executing it well. Like DayZ, you had to, speaking of like Red Dead where you have to walk for miles to something to do, DayZ had nothing. It was just a barren wasteland until you go from town to town. Then H1Z1 kind of polished that up a bit, and one of the developers for the mod of H1Z1, it was called King of the Hill or something, where it was like PUBG. He went off and he made his own game, which was PUBG. But again, it's a tiny team and they're not the best, and like it's really clunky and they fuck up a lot of glitch heavy. Then people like Activision or whatever come along and they polish it completely like to a AAA standard.
Yeah, they just take the idea and they're just like, this is it now.
But it's still good. It's still good.
I don't know, if I'm looking at the Twitch directory right now, I'm just gonna Google the Twitch, look up twitch.tv/games. I want to see what's going on there. So I mean, look, right now Fortnite is their number one, then is League of Legends, chatting, then Dota, Grand Theft Auto 5, and then PlayerUnknown. And where's Call of Duty? Black Ops 4 is out all the way.
It's not even there.
Is on the second row.
That's
I feel like that just came out.
It did.
Yeah.
Right now, like Siege is trending better than Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Yeah,
you know?
PUBG's got double the
Well, they're also they have some pro league shit going on. That's why.
Just chatting is a lot more popular than I thought it would be. They're kind of the streams I do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, Escape from Tarkov, 14.5k views. Like, there's like a lot of like games that are doing. Oh my God, Elder Scrolls Online also has more.
Yeah,
people.
I was just looking at that. What the fuck? Elder Scrolls Online is kind of popping. I thought that was
Yeah.
dead.
No, Elder Scrolls Online is very much alive.
And you know what? I played a bit of Elder Scrolls Online, and it was fun, and I liked it, but I only played it for a little bit, and people give that so much shit. And I was like, I don't know why. It was an Elder Scrolls game for sure. Like, it definitely deserves its place.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I enjoyed it. Like, they had nice little single player, and then you encounter like players, and you can, I don't know, it was fun.
I played a lot of World of Warcraft. I've been waiting for like, I want to play another MMO so bad. Like, I love MMOs. They're evergreen content almost. It's like, it's just so good.
Dude, I spent so long playing World of Warcraft. I think I was like 16 or 17 that I started getting bed sores. You know, like fucking obese, like 600-pound life people have. They start getting rashes on their body. I started getting like,
I know what you mean.
I was just laying in bed playing it all day, and my like skin was falling off. It was fucking nasty.
Dude, I know exactly what you're talking. Not exactly what you're talking about, because that never happened to me. But I do know about spending a lot of time playing MMOs. Like when I was playing World of Warcraft, I'd spend like 14 hours a day. I'd get up in the morning and I'd go to bed. I'd get up at like 8 sometimes, and I'd go to bed at like 4 in the morning.
And what were you doing when you weren't playing World
of
of Warcraft? Just thinking about the next time you're playing World
Sleeping.
of Warcraft. Or sleeping.
I was sleeping, World of Warcraft, eating a bit. That was it. Like, dude, it was so crazy.
That was the most addicting thing probably to this day for me, game-wise.
The closest I got to that was XCOM, because I've canceled a couple of events to be like, I could do one more mission in XCOM. Have you guys played that?
XCOM was so much fun.
That's fun.
Yeah, the fact that you could name your characters, like you just name them after your friends, it made it so much harder when you like lost somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, my God, it was heartbreaking. Yeah. We should probably start wrapping up soon. It's been like an hour and a half.
We've been going on for
Yeah,
an hour
it's
and a
been
half?
quite a bit.
Damn,
Yeah,
that's
we
good.
talked about games, man. That's the thing. We talked about video games.
Should we just wrap it up with some final thoughts?
Oh yeah, that's what we usually do. Final thoughts. I forgot about that segment.
We haven't done it. Yeah, we haven't done one of these in a while. My final thought is I need to play more video games, because I totally blanked out on like a good solid chunk of my life. I wasn't playing GameCube at the time, and I was just playing Smash Brothers, but there's more greener pastures out there. That's it. Just need to play more.
Good. What are your final thoughts, Bunty King?
You know, I just need to. I mean, I don't know.
There you go. Perfect.
I just want to chill and play more games and produce more content around the video games industry, and eventually just, you know, I want to be able to make video games my job. It'd be totally fine doing that, you know.
Hey, if people want to see your video game playing, where can they go?
They can go to twitch.tv/Mr. Bunty King. They can also follow me on YouTube, youtube.com/Mr. Bunty King. Really easy to find. Also very easy to reach. If they want to find me out on Twitter, they can find me at Real Bunty King on Twitter, and it's just really easy to talk to me. You can just tweet at me or DM me, and most of the time I'll reply. If I don't reply, it's probably because I'm just on social media.
My final thoughts is that games are good.
Mm-hmm.
And also, nice meeting you, Bunty King. And Gage, nice doing this fucking podcast again. Oh, also, last thing. Actually,
What?
I was gonna say we should tell the listeners that me and you are gonna do a new challenge.
Yeah, I mean, not to put Bunty on the spot, but Bunty, if you want to give us, we usually have been doing these small challenges about what we discussed today.
What do you mean by challenge?
Something small that we can do outside of the podcast.
One time we went to a strip club. that was the main one we did.
So what should we do, refraining to what we talked about today?
I think I should just play through Alien Isolation.
Okay,
That's a challenge.
we'll do it.
Really? I've been hearing some bad things about the game, but since you recommended it, we'll do it.
You'll hear bad things about it because there's people felt like it got maybe a little bit repetitive, and also they felt like it was just a little bit more boring than they expected to be. They were expecting it to be more of like a scare fest, but it really isn't. It's more a lot of build up, a lot of tension, and but it's really just an excellent experience all together.
I thought it'd be more like Doom, but it was kind of more like Amnesia or something, which was cool.
Yeah, it's really good. It's good. It's a great game. I loved it so much.
All right.
We both haven't played it, as far as I know, Gage. You haven't played it, so
I have not.
We'll do it. We'll do the challenge. We'll report back.
Alrighty.
And thank you so much for coming on, man.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
appreciate
My pleasure,
it.
man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Anytime, baby.
So, good night. Niall, wrap this up.
Good night, everybody.
there we go.
Sure, yeah, that's good enough.
Whatever.